My name's Richard Tetrault, and I am a painter and printmaker and muralist, working in East Vancouver predominantly for the last 25 years or so. So I've been here for quite a period of time, and in the studio actually since 1993. There's a group of artists that are co-owners of the building. So collectively we purchase a building, and it has both residences and has some apartments and some studio space. It was actually originally a bakery, a commercial bakery called the Montreal Bakery, and was one of the key commercial bakeries in Vancouver. It's kind of wonderful to be able to take what was a bakery space and turn it into an art production space. I really like that. The feel of it has good ambiance. And this is an exhibit space for mostly for Esther's photography. Try to keep it a little bit tidy, but we have movable partitions here, so that's kind of a variable in the space. They can all be taken down to open it up. Everything's more or less on wheels. My printing press is on wheels, and my work table's on wheels. And over here is more my painting area on this side, under the skylight, and my printing press, which when I'm working on prints, I roll it out into the middle of the floor and work under the skylight as well. So can't beat natural light. There were openings here for vents for the ovens, and then we turned it into a skylight. And then the archives back here. So this is a certain amount of my work. And behind here is a framing space, which is a mat, where I cut mats and do framing. And this is a darkroom space in here. So kind of that's the whole area. It's about 1,200 square feet, all in all. It's, well, it kind of serves several purposes. And so it really has a bit of a flexibility as far as its square footage, variable use of the square footage here. So we've done gatherings here, fundraisers, different events, CD launches, dances, all kinds of different things in the space. And it really has that kind of variable use. But most of the time, it's kind of my space for painting and for printmaking and for conducting my work, and for my wife to work on her photography. I think that there's potential in Vancouver, as has been developed in other cities, for example, in the States, where they've taken certain buildings that are maybe more historic and developed them as studio spaces. Now, some are live work, some are just studio spaces. But that doesn't really exist in any major way in Vancouver. Most of the artists in, for example, in the Tetrault jurisdiction, who are in studio spaces that I know of, are either they're the live work studios that I'd mentioned, or they're month-by-month rental studio spaces. So there's no, not that I'm aware of, resource of working studio spaces as a self-contained, building unto itself. I think given the crunch and the, inevitable gentrification of this neighborhood, and the, coveted nature now of all the historic qualities and the community here, that those aspects that are drawing people into the community are going to dissipate because of the economic issues surrounding property and real estate. So unless there's a real proactive action, I think, on getting some of these spaces and securing some of these spaces and making them artist studio zoning designation, it's going to continue to be a problem. And we'll have more 901 Main Street issues where, groups of artists are going to be out scrambling to find space that they can actually afford. It's not realistic to look at the city of Vancouver to be providing stuff for artists, but they do have certain, I guess, flexibilities in certain ways that they can support zones and districts that that is really where, you know, I mean, we've spent a lot of time and energy and resource developing, you know, cultural corridors and cultural facilities to showcase the work, but there's thus far been virtually no tangible support of where the work is actually produced. So aside from the fact that there are a few artists that manage to get out from under the shadow of displacement, the majority, they don't have any real security. So this is where the city, I think, can have some influence. And the present-day administration, I think, has got some interest in doing that. They see that there's a great value in making that connection and in having both the dynamics of where the work is produced and the dynamics of where it's showcased as being actually an integrated thing.